Breaking Jimmy Butler trade watch. Woj reporting yesterday the Rockets updated their offer to the Timberwolves, including 4 future first-round picks. And of course, there are a few key things to remember when we're talking about draft picks in trades. Number 1, not all draft picks are the same, right? Picks can be protected, so a pick, if it ends up being top 20, top 10, it doesn't have to convey. Although Woj does report the protections in this deal would be limited in some way. Another thing to remember is you cannot trade away your first-round pick in consecutive seasons, otherwise known as the Cleveland Cavaliers rule.
Rule.
So these picks would be every other year going to 7 seasons out. Oh, and this. Jimmy Butler is listed as questionable tonight with an unspecified illness. So, Paul, as somebody who himself was traded in one of the most notorious lopsided deals in recent NBA history, is there now the picks would be staggered? Obviously, they'd be presumably higher draft picks than you know, they would be later in the round draft picks than what you were dealt for, but still.
You know what? Initially, I would say no, because you see what happened to the Nets. Mortgage the future for the now.
Right.
But this is the Rockets. They have a barometer on where they are right now. They're a team that pushed the Warriors to 7 games. Before, when I got traded to the Nets, it was like we just put this team together.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like they had a nucleus that was there that was like a game away from the championship. Houston Rockets was right there. So Daryl Morey is obsessed with beating the Warriors. I say you go and do it. I mean, this is the move that can possibly help you get over the top to beat the Warriors. If you have a chance to add to Chris Paul and James Harden, Jimmy Butler, you go for it. You go all in.
Yeah, I'm with Paul on this. If you're the Rockets, you absolutely do. This is a no-brainer because you have the centerpiece, unlike the Brooklyn situation,
right.
You have the centerpiece of James Harden, who's an MVP, who's going to be good for a number of years still, okay? So there's your centerpiece. You think you're going to be a good team for a long time. You can add a Jimmy Butler. You can maybe beat the Warriors. But if I'm Minnesota, I don't want this deal because of what you said, Rachel. I don't know where these picks are going to be. And if what's been reported, which is Marquese Chriss could be the centerpiece of this deal, that's not enough if I'm Tibbs. No chance.
I mean, that's what's hard to kind of say is you don't know where these are going to fall. You don't know who's involved. There's also the money factor on both sides. And really for the Rockets, you're talking about if they did trade for Jimmy Butler, and we all know that he wants a max contract this summer, and they're going to give him something that is going to make him happy enough to want to play there, the way he obviously doesn't want to play right now in Minnesota. You're talking about going maybe $100 million into the luxury of just luxury tax alone on top of your salary?
When you're obsessed with beating the Warriors, you go $100 million into the tax.
Well, it's not Daryl Morey's money, though. That's the thing. Daryl is obsessed, and by the way, he should be, right? That's the name of the game. The name of the game is to try to win. What was her say? You want the
you play to win the game.
Winning the game, right?
Play to win the game.
So he should be obsessed, but it's not his money.
Right.
So the question, and it's been a question for the new owner there, how much tolerance does he have for paying that much into the luxury tax? He said at the beginning of the season he wants to pay for a winning team, but if that team doesn't win, he would hold the people who work for him responsible. So be interesting. Interesting to see. We'll have to see as reporting develops on this what the trade talks actually end up being.